Okay, so this week really looking at the ability to take in two different perspectives. One is the perspective of the exerciser. The other is the perspective of the non-exerciser. Again, the goal is not to deem one right or wrong, but to actually just view each as its own legitimate piece. So again, can we take in quote unquote conflicting types of information and find truth in both? Okay. One big piece from last time that I wanted, when we talked about asking questions, that I really wanted to make sure got through was the brilliant question of, why are we talking about mental health in physical education? And the response there was, the brain and the body are this connected being. Now, many of us, I will see in a second, might act as if they are separate. So there are those, typically the exercisers, who use the physical health to kind of gain a sense of control, a sense of productivity, a sense of health and wellness from that physical aspect. And there are those who look at the other pieces, the spiritual, the social, the mental aspect of it. So that is the thing that they are kind of catering and working toward. So although we have our attention kind of in different buckets, it is all the same being. And it's just how we're able to cope and deal with stuff. The final analogy I really want you to kind of consider as we go through this is, if I'm a person and I'm kind of holding three balloons, right? One balloon is my physical health. The other is my mental health. And the third is kind of all the others: social health, spiritual health, emotional health, however you want to kind of cover it. So the idea is, if I pump up one of those balloons, the balloons go up and I go up, my overall health goes up. But if I do not have balance, so if I'm one of those, who was me, who put everything into my physical health, and then for some reason that physical health fails, either it's the school shut down, there's no sports, or I get injured, boom, like the entire system drops. There's no catch, there's no balance. But if I'm able to equally pump up and pay attention to all three balloons, if one goes down, gets popped, I sink slowly and I still stay lifted. That is the concept that we're trying to kind of play with here today. Is there a balance between all the specters and all the realms of health? Okay. Last cater from yesterday is that the majority of your questions, the things you wanted to know and engage in, were self-identified mental realm, right? There is some overlap, and there is some acknowledgement of that overlap. Let me make sure these folks can get in real quick. And then we'll start talking about the assignment. All right, so this concept of enjoyment, whatever it is that you're choosing to do, are you actually having fun enjoying the act? Am I most happy when the exercise is over? Right? Am I cool with it? If I'm not an exerciser, right? How am I feeling in my time? Am I enjoying it? Am I doing what I need to do for myself, or am I just kind of letting the days pass me by? That's kind of where we're at. So the first thing I ask, how do you identify? Exerciser or non-exerciser? Slight edge to non-exerciser. And I really want to make sure that this gets through, because even though in your mind you're an exerciser and this is like what PE is and this is what moving my body is and suffering, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, there is a whole chasm that you're not looking at, a whole different way of experiencing things, right? So slight edge to folks considering themselves a non-exerciser, okay? For the exerciser, what part of exercise do you enjoy most? Take a look. biggest by a little bit is being finished. I enjoy when it's done. When I think of other things throughout my life that are like that, I think of chores. I'm very happy when the dishes are done. I don't really like doing the dishes. So again, is exercise activity, is it something that you want to check off the list, or is it something you kind of want to engage in the process of? What do you have the bandwidth for? Doing it and exercising was 20%. Getting ready, a lot of it is just like that anticipation. It's like, for example, food is coming. You're like, get really excited, whether it be the music or the getting dressed or just like that up cycle that you put yourself on before you go work out. That's what they dig. All of the above is like the whole process. Okay. Then we had some kind of singlings of more after it's being done, specifically when the burn's being gone and when you see the results. So that's for the exerciser. For the non-exerciser, right? What part of not having to exercise do you enjoy most? Right? Kind of biggest swing is all of the above. But specifically, more time to do what I want, I need. Again, how do I take care of myself other than to quote unquote force exercise? And non-exercisers, is it working? Again, if you think of that person with the balloons, I get we're still in a pandemic, right? So has the ability to shift to other things help prop you up? Does it leave you down sunk? Are you stuck in either direction? Okay. 13% is being able to focus on those other two balloons. Right? And 11% just simply not have to worry about another thing. I have to survive and maintain and, and exercise. Like, geez, that's too much. Right? Again, paring down, paring down, paring down. For the exerciser, how do you feel if you can't work out or exercise that day? For the most part, for this 40%, great answer. I'm fine. I'm not going to flip out if I can't exercise that day. However, if we combine all the other colors, there is some guilt, shame, anxiousness, anger. There is an emotional kind of response to that, right? So 57% kind of have a negative response to not being able to exercise. And the question posed back is that okay? Right? Not necessarily something to answer. Thinking about habits and routines. When my habits and routines get upset, right? Can I adjust? Can I adjust with ease? If we talk about control, is exercising this potentially some sort of addiction that without it, you kind of crumble? Again, just posing questions. And the simple reflection is that okay? Right? For the non-exerciser, how would you describe how you use your time? Biggest jump, getting lost in stories, movies, or shows. Specifically getting lost. It's a form of escape. Could exercisers, the act of exercising, that whole routine, getting ready, doing it, feeling accomplished, is that also a way of getting lost of reality? Just channeled as a more productive one? Second biggest chunk, getting to know myself. Right? Could I sit in the discomfort and feel stuff instead of just forcing good, forcing good, forcing good? Being with getting to know other people. Right? Now I know the counter, because the exercisers are just like, grab friends, go to the park and play. Right? But is that really being with people? Or is it just doing the same stuff as them? Do I get as much out of playing basketball with someone as I do a solid heart-to-heart conversation? We got workers, we got something artistic creative, we got folks designated just being lazy. So the opposite end of the spectrum. On the phone all the time. Right? Good or bad, I'm not sure. Non-exerciser. How do you feel if you can't do what you typically do with your time? 50% is fine. Right? Not so stuck into their routine. But we also, right, similar to the exerciser. This is a shift off habits. If you're knocked out of the thing that you know and have to adjust, we struggle because we create these pockets in which we like to exist and find comfort. Right? I think the other one was like 40-60 or 48-60. This one's 50-50. All of these are off pretty much negative. Okay. Guilty, angry, worse. This was super pleasant for the exerciser. Do you have any hobbies other than exercising, playing sports, working out? 85% of you say yes, which is awesome. You're looking for a balance. You are looking to invest in something else, to learn there perhaps, to get better perhaps. Right? Now the question becomes, and the curiosity on my half, is these folks that say, no, working out is it. I am an exerciser. That's all I got. I got one giant physical balloon, and I'm just going to focus on keeping that okay. Potential issue? Not sure. For the non-exerciser, now take a look at how many buckets here. How many hobbies do you have? So there's things that you choose to invest in, spend time in, hopefully potentially learn and get better at. Over half have over 3, right? So they're not kind of putting this energy and this time in exercise. They're dabbling in all this other stuff.
Actually, no, let's get
Please make sure you check on those mute buttons.
So they can swim. I just deleted the tire. Oh well. Just love my zoo. Well, I hate my dad.
Okay. So, and another third has 2, at least 2. Right? So non-exercisers, they are looking around. They're quote unquote staying still, but they're seeing what's out there. As a general tendency, they want options. For the exerciser, how long do you think you can go without exercising before it starts to take a negative toll on you physically? Right? A few days, a week, a month. Right? Now, exercisers, consider this. If you stopped exercising, my hunch is you are still kind of physically active, walking around, playing with stuff, doing, as a physical person who finds control in physicality, you tend to do that across the spectrum. It isn't like stopping exercise for you means you lay in bed comatose. 2 different things. Non-exerciser. Do you think not exercising is taking a negative toll on your physical health? 2/3 say yes, but they keep making the choice. Right? Why might that be? You are a young, able-bodied person that is well to the fact of you are absent of disease and or disability. So your body can do what you ask it to do for general life tasks. If you check those boxes, right, you might want to start emphasizing on the mental health, the figuring out you, the figuring out life, the figuring out what you like. right? Because even though they know it's taking a negative toll, they're still choosing to do it. What's the motivation behind that? Right? Where is the value? How do you spend your time? For the exerciser, now I ask, how long do you think you can go without exercising before it takes a negative toll on you mentally? Remember, a few slides up, I said, if you miss a workout, how do you feel? We had 40-something% say fine, and the rest were like, not great, less than, worse. That's one. You're missing one workout, right? So the vast majority here say a week until those thoughts start to creep in, right? So what is exercise for you? It pushes those thoughts of laziness or worthlessness or unproductive away. It's your anti-lazy, and you do it every day to prove it to yourself, right? Habits and behaviors. For the non-exerciser, would you say not exercising is allowing you to take better care of your mental health? Right? Less than half say yes. Less than half. So what's going on here? Is it that slightly more than half are just no balloons? They're just, right, trying not to go into the ground. Treading water. Give me a story, give me a Netflix. Thank God there's another series. Okay, there's 18 seasons. I'll be all right for a while. Distract, escape. Sit in the discomfort. What are you able to do? Okay, so I'm going to scroll a little bit. And then we'll just look at this. I asked for words now. For the exerciser, how does exercising, working out impact your mental health? Why does it make you feel good? Active. What I want to look like. Goal pursuit. Stay fit. Right? Now, notice this answer. Some scientists say the internet says that it can increase intelligence. It can make your day more positive. I didn't ask Google this question. I asked you this question. So if you don't have an answer, do you look something up on the internet and say, here? Why don't you have an answer? Okay. Kind of improves my confidence. Accomplished. Allows me to let out unused energy. Remember the anxiety here and the overthinking. If I move my body, it tends to let my mind relax a bit. Just makes me think I am healthy. Makes you think better and feel better about yourself. It makes me feel strong. This is the mindset of the exerciser, right? They have reasons. For the non-exerciser, this is another big, was there a time in the past where you could describe yourself as active? 88% said yes. And you're not that old. So something switched. Life, pandemic. What changed? Let me scroll a little bit. I didn't have a class, a space, and people, and a grade. So I said, what's the point? Motivation. Money, meaning I couldn't get to a gym. Do I have to go to a gym? Me by myself makes it boring. I got older and learned about life and anxiety, and now I have no time. Because you're thinking about life and anxiety all the time, right? No sports, no motivation. This person physically, I get tired really fast, get dizzy, my pulse is going like crazy. So exercise made me feel worse. lazy and lost motivation. This is why we're trying to dig into this with help, with a guide during class. Because school makes learning something you have to do. PE makes moving your body something you have to do. But like we've learned this year, if you get the time taken away and the grade taken away and the space taken away and the people taken away and the coach and the teacher taken away, more than half of us just sit. That's problematic. So instead of just forcing you into that system, maybe we pause and we start to give you the skills to do things on your own, to learn on your own, to do on your own, so that when school ends, and it will eventually, you'll graduate, you don't just sit. You have ideas and interests and ways of being and ways of doing. For the non-exerciser, do you intend on being more active in the future? Almost 70% say yes. And the other sliver is a maybe. So we've got what, one person? One person's resolute, been like, nope. Could be someone that's sunk. But the vast majority is like, yeah, I am going to be more active when blank changes. Final statement is, could you be that change? Stop share. Stop record.